There is nothing worse than losing a child. Disturbingly, thousands of children are abducted every year. Often the kidnapper is a family member, but sometimes there are cases which come up empty, leading to no leads or suspects. However, on rare occasions, missing children cases have been solved with lucky endings. Today we'll look into 5 kidnapped children who were found alive, months and even years later. Number 5. Stephen Stainer. In 1972, 7-year-old Stephen Stainer was abducted by a man named Kenneth Parnell. Parnell told the boy, Stephen, that his family did not want him anymore and that he had taken custody of him. Amazingly, Stephen was under the care of Parnell for 7 years, enduring physical and mental abuse. Years later, Parnell kidnapped another boy named Timothy White. Now 14 years old, Stephen did not want another child to go through what he had. One night when Parnell was at work, Stephen took Timothy and hitchhiked into town, where they went to the police. Parnell was charged in 1981, serving only 5 years, but was arrested again in 2003 trying to buy a 4-year-old boy, and was sentenced to 25 years and died of natural causes in 2008, aged 76. Tragically, Stephen Stainer died in a motorcycle accident when he was only 24 years old. Number 4. Sean Hornbeck. On October 2002, 11-year-old Sean Hornbeck was abducted while he was out riding his bike. Sean was held for 4 years by a man named Michael J. Devlin. Sean was discovered by accident when the police happened to notice Devlin's white pickup truck after following a lead after another boy had been abducted, after witnesses had described the truck. That day, they found Ben and Sean. The 2 boys were returned to their families and Devlin was charged and convicted of kidnapping and child sexual abuse. He is currently serving 74 consecutive life sentences. Sean's parents started the Sean Hornbeck Foundation, which is a non-profit organisation that still aids in the search and rescue of abducted children today. Number 3. Elizabeth Smart. Elizabeth Smart was 14 years old when she was abducted from a bedroom during the night by a middle-aged man. At the time of the abduction, Elizabeth's younger sister Mary pretended to be asleep in the same room and witnessed the abductor and was able to provide the police with a description of the man. Months passed and Mary realised she recognised the man's voice as someone who had done yard work at her family's house. However, the police did not take Mary's claims seriously. The family then decided to hire their own sketch artist, which they released to the media, which led to them identifying the man. 9 months after the abduction, Elizabeth was found alive thanks to her sister's memory and her family's tireless efforts to never give up. The man was later identified as Brian David Mitchell. Elizabeth is now 26 years old and an activist for missing and abused children. Number 2. Natasha Kampusch. Natasha Kampusch was only 10 years old when she was abducted on her way to school in 1998. She wasn't heard from again for 8 years and was prisoner of a kidnapper, Wolfgang Priklopil, where she acted as his maid, cook, companion and unthinkable abuse. When she was older, he allowed her to spend time in the garden and occasionally took her on trips with him. The day after her 18th birthday, Natasha made a run for it when Priklopil was distracted by a phone call. Priklopil took the easy way out and committed suicide by jumping in front of a train rather than be arrested by police. Amazingly, Natasha owns the house in which she was held prisoner, saying she doesn't ever want it to be turned into a museum of her lost adolescence. Number 1. Julian Hernandez. Julian Hernandez was 5 when his mother, who had custody of him, reporting him missing in Birmingham, Alabama in 2002. 13 years later, an 18-year-old young man started applying to colleges when he ran into problems with his security number. After visiting a school counsellor to help fix the issue, they discovered his security number was actually listed in the National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children database. Investigators soon realised that Julian Hernandez had been abducted by his father and was able to live undetected because he was living under the alias Jonathan Mangina. The father has since been arrested and is facing 10 years in prison. Julian's mother is reportedly ecstatic to find her son. However, it will be up to Julian whether he wants to be reunited with her, as he is now a legal adult.